Good evening, Internet. Shroom here playing Standard tonight, and it happened. Today, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set released on Magic Arena, and a little bit of a rant here. I don't like Universes Beyond. I don't want to play with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cards in my Magic the Gathering games. And, we kind of joked about this, when they first started releasing these sets, and Wizards said, no, these are just for Commander. We're never going to release these into standard or like broader formats, which of course turned out to be not true. And so here we are in a format where like Donatello and Michelangelo can be attacking my Liliana Dreadhorde General in a game of standard. And, there's New York City of whatever year the TMNT cartoons are set in, that exists alongside Dominaria and Tarkir and, Vishkar. I was even a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books when I was a kid. I'm old, so I had the Peter Laird, Kevin Eastman comic books, which were adult comic books. They were extremely dark and violent, and even the cartoons when they came out, in the early '90s, I remember thinking, "Wow, this is stupid." This is nothing like the comic books. That's where they introduced the whole thing of pizza and the silly different colored bandanas and all the surfer talk and all that all came from the cartoon, had nothing to do with the original source material. So even as an old school TMNT fan, I'm not excited by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sets. I'm not excited by Universes Beyond. I don't want to have Leonardo attacking my Liliana Dreadhorde General, but it is what it is. I mean, what can I do? I can stop playing Magic. I don't want to stop playing Magic or making Magic content. I like making Magic content. So it's going to take a little bit for me to sort of build acceptance of this. I am going to just try as much as I can to avoid purchasing these cards. This is just the tiny amount of protest that I can do, and I don't expect it's going to move the needle at all. But I'm just going to try to the degree that I can to just not open packs of TMNT and put these cards in my decks. We'll see. I guess, I don't want Wizards to fail, because then they won't make Magic anymore. But I want these sets to not be good. I want a lot of other people to protest, like I'm protesting, so that these sets are commercially not as successful. So maybe somewhere down the line, Wizards will get the hint that they should stop doing Universes Beyond and just focus on Magic sets. So you're not going to see a lot of TMNT content from me, like TMNT specific content from me. I'm not going to focus on the TMNT cards and try to brew around those. I'm not going to purposely eschew them where they would be good cards to include in my brews. But really, I'm just trying to ignore this to the degree possible still, by not engaging myself with the set. So yeah, that's my rant about Universes Beyond. It's a sad day, up until this point. There really hadn't been such a stark entrance of Universes Beyond into standard. Yes, we already had Final Fantasy and Avatar, but these are all fantasy MTG adjacent sets. They're fantasy-ish settings. Final Fantasy is a fantasy setting, so that melded pretty well with the overall feel and vibe of Magic and its lore. And Avatar: The Last Airbender, we had Tarkir, we have monks and that kind of thing in Magic before, so that also felt like it was something that could exist in the universe of Magic. But now we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and pizza and the Technodrome and all the silliness from the cartoons and the cartoon spin-offs and whatnot. So anyway, that's my rant out of the way. I'm going to try to not engage with the TMNT set to the degree that I possibly can, because I don't want to play with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't want to play with Marvel superheroes. I don't want to play with Star Trek cards in my Magic the Gathering. I like the fact that Magic was a lore consistent multiverse with its own stories and characters and whatnot. I don't follow that too much, but I always liked the fact that was there for people who did want to follow that closely. And now that's just gone. And, Wizards has totally put the lie to what they said initially about Universes Beyond and yada, 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 whatever. I'm a stubborn dude. I'm a jank brewer. So I'm just going to do what I can to protest by not engaging with this set to the degree possible. That said, I do have a brew that features the TMNT card today, because there's the set released, and I think this card is just absurd. So let's get into the deck tech. Let's look at some Esper Super Shredder aggro. So the card that I'm referring to, of course, is Super Shredder. It's 2 mana for 1/1 menace. Whenever another permanent leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Super Shredder. This seems like an absurd card to me. Whenever another permanent leaves the battlefield, that includes like if you crack a Fabled Passage or a Demolition Field, if you crack a Clue, if you crack a map token, if you remove one of your opponent's creatures by casting a removal spell, if your opponent cracks a Clue or a map, etc., etc. All of these things put +1/+1 counters on this naturally evasive 1/1 body. 1/1 menace body. So this seems like a really good starting point for building an aggressive deck in Esper colors. So what are we pairing with the Super Shredder? Well, we're pairing creatures that create tokens that we can crack to grow our Super Shredders, such as these Novice Inspectors, which I always just like to put in decks. You know, they're 1/2s that create a clue when they enter. And of course, Spyglass Siren is a 1/1 flyer that creates a map token when it enters. So both of these add permanents, which we can crack to do things that also grow our Super Shredder. And then I've added a couple of candy trails, which are just like food artifacts that let us scry to dig deeper for our Super Shredders. And then when we crack them, we gain some life and draw a card, so they replace themselves. More importantly, they're artifacts that let us dig for our Super Shredders and that we can crack to grow our Super Shredders. And the rest of the deck, also, I should mention the Voice of Victory. This is a very kind of messed up, oppressive card in its own right. It's a good aggro card as a 1/3 mobilize 2 card that effectively attacks for 3 when it attacks. And of course, it mobilizes 2, which means that it puts two 1/1 token creatures into the battlefield, which are sacrificed at the end of combat. Sacrifice means they leave the battlefield, which means that they add +1/+1 counters to the Super Shredder. So all of these 1 and 2 drops synergize with the Super Shredder, make it into a really, I think, possibly absurdly large threat for the mana value. And then we're just trying to control the battlefield, kill our opponent's stuff to trigger our Super Shredders and stay alive, and just keep our Super Shredders alive. So the rest of our deck looks a lot kind of like the irksome aggro deck I played a little while ago, except it's not budget. So we've got like Duresses at 1 mana. We want to take away our opponent's removal spells so that our Super Shredders will survive. We got a couple of Restoration Magics, which also just help our Super Shredders to survive, as well as other creatures that might be helpful to us. We've got some 1 mana removal in Requiting Hex and Seam Rip, each of which triggers Super Shredder when they remove one of our opponent's permanents from the battlefield. And then at 2 mana, we've got Get Lost, more removal. We've got Bitter Triumph for more removal. We've got these Deep Cavern Bats, which are just good hand disruption. Again, dovetailing with our plan to try to keep our Super Shredder alive as much as possible. Strategic Betrayal is a removal piece that also is Graveyard Hate. And then we've got another card from TMNT is Leader's Talent. I'm running a 1 of this just to add a little bit more punch to our board, which can be a little anemic if we don't have a Super Shredder. So this is a Saga enchant. It's a class enchantment, excuse me. It starts at 2. Whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. So that mode by itself is probably where we're just going to have it sit most of the time. We can level it up to 2 for 3 mana, which means that when a creature leaves the battlefield, if it had counter on it, we gain 2 life. We don't really care about that. Should we level it all the way up to 4, it means that to level 3, which costs 4 mana, it means that whenever we cast a spell, we put a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control. We're really mostly interested in the level 1 ability of this effect. Just put a little bit of extra oomph into our attacks, get some counters on our creatures, make them hit a little harder. Yeah, and then we're also running a full play set of Deduce, which is just another card draw spell that can help us get our Super Shredders, help us find pieces that we need, and of course they create clue tokens, which we can crack to draw cards and to grow our Super Shredders. So yeah, pretty simple game plan here. We're just going to try to abuse Super Shredders. Going to try to find them, protect them, abuse them, grow them into absurd lethal threats, which I don't think it'll be too hard because that's quite an ability that they have. A total of 21 lands in the mana base is sufficient for the very low mana value. We top out at 2. Tech includes Dalkovan Encampment, which can create creature tokens when we attack that go away at the end of combat, meaning they are permanents leaving the battlefield, meaning that they trigger our Super Shredders. And then we've got a couple of Fabled Passages also, which are just lands that we can sacrifice, which when we do that, that puts tokens on our Super Shredders. We've got a 1 of Restless Anchorage as just a creature land that's very cheap to activate. Creates clue tokens, which we can crack that put counters on our Super Shredders. So the sideboard contains more removal, more 1 mana removal in the form of another Seam Rip, We've got also some Nowhere to Run against those like hexproof decks. We've got a Death in the Family as another TMNT card I'm trying. Seems like a good removal spell. It's 2 mana instant, exile target creature with mana value 3 or less, so that's a good effect. You know, Enduring Innocence is a card that's widely played, which this can exile. Exile a lot of other stuff too, like Unstoppable Slashers, Ketramos, that kind of thing. We got more discard in the sideboard. We got Duress against control decks. We've got a couple of Intimidation Tactics and a Poison the Waters against creature-heavy decks. Poison the Waters can also be a sweeper for creatures with 1 toughness on our opponent's side, which can come in handy against those token decks. Then we've got a couple of exercises against artifacts, enchantments, bigger stuff. We've got Rest in Peace, a couple of those, plus a second Strategic Betrayal in our sideboard. Whoops. Which means we can board up to 2 Strategic Betrayals and 2 Rest in Pieces against graveyard decks. And then we've got a couple counter spells, a second Spell Pierce, a Disdainful Stroke, a Negate for those matchups where they're good, control matchups, matches where our opponents have a lot of sweepers, and big spells. So that is Super Shredder Control. You know, I just want to try out this card because it looks like a good aggressive card. From the artwork, you wouldn't guess that it's a TMNT card unless you know about TMNT, so I guess it has that going for it. You know, it is what it is. I could quit playing Magic, or I can play with TMNT cards, so I'm choosing to play with TMNT cards for now. Anyway, enough ranting. Let's play some Super Shredder aggro in the Platinum tier of Standard. And if you like off-meta MTG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Okay, 2 more days for you. This is our first opponent with some Super Shredder aggro in TMNT Standard. Yeah, this hand looks good. I think I'll lead on Duress. Yeah, let's Duress turn 1. Elspeth's Sheltered by Ghost, Parting Gust. So just removal, removal, removal. I guess we'll take Elspeth, because we don't have a card to deal with that, really. Leah. Alright, let's play an Inspector. And we'll also play a Siren. Warped again. Alright, let's explore onto our Siren. Novice Inspector? Yeah, we'll keep a Novice Inspector. Attack. I think we'll play a Candy Trail. Inspector, and then a Godless Shrine. That's fine. Sanctifier. I want them to play Sheltered by Ghosts. Actually, I'm just gonna kill the Sanctifier, because then that way Strategic Betrayal will hit Halia. They have these 2 removal spells. That's why I'm not going for Super Shredder right now. Let's just attack. Play another Novice Inspector. Okay, we'll attack. Parting Gust is going to give us a fish. Sure, we'll shock. There's Halia. Alright, let's sack our candy trail. Draw a card. Sack a clue. Draw a card. Get lost is a good draw. Okay, strategic betrayal. Kill Holia. Attack. Play a land, pass. Holia. Yeah, we'll just get lost to Holia so that we can keep attacking. Voice of Victory, that's a good one. Now do I play Super Shredder? I think I do play Super Shredder now. Parting Gust to Super Shredder. Get lost the Voice of Victory. Okay. Explore on a fish. Voice of Victory, we'll keep it. Explore on a fish. Voice of Victory, we'll keep it. Elect to make the draw a card. Okay. Enduring Innocence. And that's game. Kill Enduring Innocence. Okay. So white life gain token stuff. So Intimidation Tactics and Duress are both good. Bring in the 2 Intimidation Tactics. We just want more cheap removal. Nowhere to run Death in the Family. Probably good. Do I possibly want Disdainful Stroke? It's only good against Elspeth. Probably not. I could see a Negate, though. I already have Spell Pierce. I'm gonna bring in 1 Negate. More stuff that can kill Hylia. So let's get Poison the Waters. I don't actually think Strategic Betrayal is that good. Well, they know the Super Shredder's out there, so they're going to be looking out for it. Maybe this is the proper time to cut it a little bit. Like cut Shredder, Candy Trail, cut Duress, Deduce. Actually, I like Duress. Cut a couple of Deduces. Yeah, we'll just run 2 Shredders. I think we can just beat them with our creatures. Let's try this. Okay, this is a great hand. Duress. Get Lost, Sheltered Elspeth. They only have an Essence Channeler as a creature, which I do not have a removal spell for. Probably take Sheltered by Ghosts. Alright, play a tap land, go. Sheltered by Ghosts, just gonna get in and grow it. Alright, we need a removal spell here. Let's Voice of Victory. Go. protect it. No block. Oh, I could have blocked. I'm so dumb. I could have blocked there. It's indestructible. Wow. I mean, it would have saved me from 4 damage. Okay, Super Shredder. We can make Super Shredder a 3/3. And we will trade with the Essence Channeler. Okay, well, we took 4 damage that we didn't need to, which is unfortunate, but I think we're in a good position here. Split up? I don't think so. Deep Cavern Bat? That's a good one. Enduring Innocence. Yeah, I'll take Enduring Innocence for sure. Attack. 3. Sanctifier. A Johnny's Pride Mate. Yeah. Can draw some removal, please. Each Bone Verge. Yeah, we're gonna attack with our flyers. Let's put a counter on Voice of Victory. Another Voice of Victory? Yeah, we'll keep that on top. Make a fish to grow their Pride Mate. Okay. Should be at 12, by the way. Let's draw a card. Another Deep Cavern Bat. Okay. Play a bat. Take Elspeth.
There's a bright future
ahead. Attack. Need to find a removal spell for this Pride Mate is the bottom line. Overlord. Six, 7, 8. Just to find bat. Okay. All right. Well, this Pride Mate snuck through. Let's get in another Seam Rip. And I don't know, I think I actually do like Strategic Betrayal. Can we get it? Put 1 Shredder back in? We took 4 more damage than we should have that game, but I think that that board was death for us anyway. Yeah, I guess we're just trimming on non-sideboard cards here. 2 cuts. Something like this. Let's try this. We can't keep that 1 lander. This is a good hand. Bottom. Fabled Passage, probably. Requiting Hex, that's good. Their bat. Enduring Innocence, Essence Channeler, Overlord, Get Lost. Well, we gotta take Get Lost. because otherwise the bat dies. The way to get rid of that overlord would be great. Okay. Exile that into innocence. Play a Novice Inspector. Clue into intimidation tactics. No. The bat, one turn too late. No untap land. Split up. Okay, we're going to protect our bat. Super Shredder. Let's play a bat. Get rid of the Overlord or the Day of Judgment. They're both really bad. Probably Day of Judgment. Play Super Shredder. Attack. Alright, there's an Overlord. Alright, we'll kill one of these tokens. Attack like so. Okay, I'm gonna throw my Super Shredder some more. Enduring Innocence. Draw another Super Shredder. So they do have Elspeth mana. They're just gonna make a fish and draw a card. Okay. Let's Seam Rip the fish. Yes, that's the only thing we can Seam Rip. Attack for 7. Elspeth.
Do not despair. Together, we will win.
Just gonna make tokens and draw a card. Aaliyah gains 1 life. We gain a couple more off the Innocence. A removal spell would have been victory. Yeah, we're going face. So they lose their Overlord. We can play another Super Shredder. Pride Mate.
Strike from the heavens.
They counter up their stuff, play another Elspeth.
The real battle. Rise.
Counter up their stuff again.
Destiny.
Huh. Alright, yeah, I think they got us here. We totally bricked and just drew lands. We boarded out like some of our deduces and stuff, so... Close one, but we lost. GG's. CP, the Brilliant, will be our next opponent. With some Super Shredder aggro. Be on the play. Hand looks really good. We'll keep. Lead on Novice Inspector. Scavenger's Talent. Alright, play Vav. And attack. Umbral Collar Zealot. Alright. Play Super Shredder. Kill the Umbral Collar Zealot. Throw Super Shredder. Attack with Vav. Throw Super Shredder. Sephiroth. Okay. Let's draw a card. Grow Super Shredder. Leader's Talent. Play this on white. Play Leader's Talent. Attack like so. Give +1 counter to Bob. Now it doesn't die to a Sephiroth block. Super Shredder goes to a 7/7. Good game, opponent says. Lord Skitter. Opponent unaware of my aversion to early good games. So, Dalkovan Encampment. Sure, play a Dalkovan Encampment. Do I want to tap it? I don't think I need to. I could just level up Leader's Talent. I kind of want to hold up Voice of Victory and Spell Pierce, so I'm just going to attack. We'll give the counter to the Super Shredder. Now it doesn't die to a triple block. Okay, GG's. Scavenger's Talent. Sephiroth, so I think we want Nowhere to Run. Probably Strategic Betrayal and Rest in Peace. Death in the Family. Intimidation Tactics. Seam Rip, our anti-creature stuff. Poison the Waters. We'll remove Spell Pierce. We'll take out a Duress. 7 cuts. 7 non-sideboard cards. Trying to preserve our synergies with Shredder. 1. Cut all the Duresses. Which means I should probably keep all the bats. Yeah, I don't know. 1, 2, 3. I don't really like get lost against them that much. 4. Cut a Candy Trail. And Evolve. Let's try this. Okay, we have to mull this one lander, unfortunately. Okay, this is a good hand, which we can keep. I think we'll bottom Dalkovan Encampment. Rest in peace. Alright, let's shock and intimidation tactics. Umbral Caller, Zealot, Bart, Super Shredder, Lord Skitter, Experimental Confectioner. When it enters creative food. We can seam rip one of these creatures. So, which one of these creatures is the most problematic for us in the long run? Probably Lord Skitter. Opponent helpfully reminds us that it's our turn. Bart. Okay. I think we'll seam rip Bart. Experimental Confectioner. We draw a bat. Let's play a bat. Let's take the Umbral Collar Zealot. Possible I could have taken Super Shredder there, but we'll find another removal spell for it. Super Shredder goes to a 2/2. No block. Voice of Victory. Let's attack with our bat. Let's play another bat. Take Sephiroth. They're gonna sack their rat to draw a card. Spyglass Siren. And a land, maybe? Let's explore. That does grow their super thing. Oh, Fabled Passage. Oh no. Okay. We need to find a removal spell for their Super Shredder. To create a treasure. We're gonna take it. Alright, we need some removal. We got a ton. Seam Rip, Requiting Hex. What color do we need? Black, probably. Maybe that black. Okay, Requiting Hex. That's a good one. Play Super Shredder. Attack with our stuff. Pass. Caretaker's Talent. Okay. Gonna copy their treasure. Draw a card. What is with all the token decks today? Bart. Alright, let's kill the Super Shredder with Bart on the stack so they can't sack it. Seam Rip. Okay. Seam Rip Bart. Play Voice of Victory. Attack. There's a Zealot. Make a fish. Draw a card. Okay, we draw Super Shredder. Let's attack with everything. Double block on Super Shredder. Tokens don't go away till the end of the turn. Play another Super Shredder. Now the tokens go away and it gets its counters. Make a fish, draw a card. Another confectioner. Okay. Get lost. On scoops. GG's. Alright. Sort of a Super Shredder mirror-ish, but we prevail. GG's. Beferm 85 is our next opponent. Some Super Shredder aggro and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles standard. Yeah, this hand looks good. We don't currently have white mana enabled for turn 2. We could, if we don't play Spyglass Siren turn 1. I want to play Spyglass Siren turn 1, though. Alright, opponent's on a multi-6. Play a Spyglass Siren. Esper has the best verges, because each verge produces a different color of land on top. Alright, let's explore. Voice of Victory? Yeah, we'll keep a Voice of Victory. Attack. So it could be Jeskai Legion Extruder. Okay. Doesn't look like it's Jeskai control. Something artifact-y, so probably like weapons manufacturing. Fortunately, we have another Voice of Victory in our hand, so shuffling. We could have waited, I guess, if we really wanted to keep 2 Voice of Victories, but we didn't need to because we already have one. Opponent shocks. Nesting bot. Let's duress. Improvised arsenal. Synthesis lab ship. At the beginning of combat on your turn, with one of the target artifact becomes an artifact creature. 2/2. Spring-loaded saw blades. I will take the spring-loaded saw blades. Attack. Okay, they're gonna make a 3/3, which can block our Voice of Victory. We could have held up black mana, but we didn't. So they get to eat our Voice of Victory. That's really unfortunate. Could have held up black mana to Bitter Triumph that. It's okay. That was a big mistake. Okay. So just stationing this, and then it becomes a 4/4 flying vigilance when it's at... when it's at 9, but it can already turn this into a 2/2. Okay. They don't attack with the 3/3. We just draw land. Let's draw a card. Super Shredder. Play Super Shredder. Fabled Passage. Go ahead. They play their equipment. Krang, Mastermind. Okay, they're gonna draw a bunch of cards. Alright, we can scoop. We can't beat opponent's board with one removal spell and 2 lands. So we did make a mistake losing our Voice of Victory there. I don't know if that was decisive. It didn't help, though. But we get Intimidation Tactics. We get Spell Pierce and Negate and Exercise. Probably Seam Rip. Seven cuts. Cut a couple of Vavs. Actually, we'll go 3, 3, 3, 3 on all these non-shredder creatures. Do we like Requiting Hex? I'll cut 1 Requiting Hex. Cut Strategic Betrayal. Cut 1 Candy Trail. Let's try this. Deduce and Bitter Triumph. Yeah, I don't know. This hand is pretty lacking. We do have Deduce. We're on the play. Is this better than a random hand of 6 cards? I think it is, actually. We'll keep it. Okay, Deep Cavern Bat's a good draw. Play our bat. Nesting Bot, Krang, Pinnacle Emissary, Hardlight Containment. Yeah, we'll take Hardlight Containment. Pinnacle Emissary, warped. They're gonna play a Nesting Bot so they get a 1/1. Okay. Spell Pierce. Alright. I don't think that we need to kill this 1/1 in order to attack with our bat. We could. That also would let us hold up Spell Pierce for something nasty. Like, this does count against their Krang. Yeah, let's play this Verge. We are gonna kill this. We'll pay 3 life to kill this. and attack. Another Pinnacle Emissary. Improvised Arsenal. I think we'll counter that. Just to keep their artifact count low. Alright, we would love to get like a intimidation tactics. Let's deduce. Intimidation tactics, there we go. Get rid of Krang. Play a tap land. Go. Draw something good, please. No, how about a land? Let's draw a card. Super Shredder, that's a good one. Play Super Shredder. Tap land. Go ahead. I mean, it's not really good right now. It's a good card in general. Perilous Snare. Gonna get our bat, which lets them get back their hard life containments. Which they can use on the Super Shredder. Dalcoven encampment, or yeah, we're just dead. We just drew nothing but lands there, so okay, GG. Wabbid Rabbit will be our next opponent with some Super Shredder aggro in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles standard. Sure, this hand looks good. We can keep. The number of shock lands. Like, I know like making your colors is important, but intimidation tactics can take one of our creatures. Takes a Vav. Sure, we'll play a Vav and attack. Alright, let's duress. Requiting Hex, Deadly Cover-Up, Cavero. We'll take Requiting Hex. Play another Novice Inspector. Gonna bounce something. Bounce Vav. Alright, we'll play Vav. Attack. Again. Thoughtseize mode. Restoration magic, that's good. Let's draw a card. Strategic Betrayal, okay. And we do have a lethal attack next turn. No, we don't. Not quite. Cavero. Gets to do deceit on both modes. We will Restoration Magic Arvav. Candy Trail. Let's crack a clue. Land. I suppose we should have candy trailed first. Quieting Hex. Yeah, sure. Get him down to 2. Harvester. Alright, so I think we're here. Deduce. Draw a card. Spell Pierce. Yep, all it takes is one Cavero. Get lost. Let's draw a card. Spyglass Siren. Sure, we'll play a Spyglass Siren. Another Cavero. Can do deceit on us again. Okay, sure. Well, if you don't have the Graveyard Hate and they have it, game 1, you can never win against that deck. Okay, Rest in Peace. Intimidation Tactics. Strategic Betrayal. Poison the Waters. Disdainful Stroke. That's probably it. I don't think Spell Pierce does anything. I don't think we need Seam Rip or Requiting Hex. Cut a Candy Trail. Duress. And a Novice. Try this. Yeah, this hand's good. We got Rest in Peace, so that's good. We'll just play this on blue. Let's go for a bat. They have a Hex. Insatiable. Oh, they're the Excruciator. Okay. We should have played our Rest in Peace turn 2. Yep. That was a big mistake. Can we find another one? Oh, we found Strategic Betrayal. That's pretty good. Novice Inspector. We'll keep a Novice Inspector, I guess. So they can just Cavero and Deceit next turn if they wanted to. So I think we have to Strategic Betrayal. Exile your yard. Plain Inspector. They play a 4/4. Deep Cavern Bat. Okay. Get lost? Sure, let's get lost the Deep Cavern Bat. Get back our get lost. Attack. Disdainful Stroke, that's a good one. Attack with our dudes. Pass. Excruciator. I think we'll just stroke this. Harvester of Miseries. Yep. Well, I think we gotta do this. Poison the waters. Yep, try to do this. Nope, that's a total whiff. Nice, opponent says. Which mode are they doing? They're losing life and drawing cards. Okay. Let's deduce. Draw a card. Super Shredder. Oh, great. Caballero. Insatiable Avarice makes us draw 3. We have 2 cards left in our library. We do have a kill spell for the Restless Reef, but I think that we still mill out before they do. Sure, we'll shock. Play Voice of Victory. Deadly Cover-Up, yep. I think I'm dead now. Bob plus Novice Inspector. I have 1 card left in my library. I can attack for 5. I can't. I would have lethal attack if I could cast this, but I have to hold up Bitter Triumph for the Restless whatever. We'll kill that. Pay 3 life. Okay, yeah, well that deck's still good. That hasn't changed. That deck is still good. Jizo will be our final opponent. With Super Shredder Aggro. We're on the play. This hand looks pretty good. I'll keep. Yeah, I want to play a Siren turn 1. Alright, let's explore with our Siren. Draw land. Play a tap land. Attack. Authority. Attack with our Siren. Play this land. Go ahead. More authority. Okay. Attack. Play Voice of Victory. They gain 2 life. Play Super Shredder. They gain 2 life. Enduring Innocence. Okay, so they're actually net gaining life as it is. Let's do Cavern Bat. Rides and Get Lost, Slasher. Virtue of Loyalty. We'll take Get Lost. They have this Ride's End, which I don't have a counter or anything for. Attacking with Voice of Victory actually ends up netting them life, I think. Because they gain 4. It does grow the Shredder hugely. Yeah, I think I just have to attack. They just take it. Play an encampment. Grow Shredder. Rides in the Shredder, I think we'll actually kill this Enduring Innocence. Alright, let's start attacking with our Anchorage. Not attacking with Voice of Victory, because it actually gains them life. Let's explore onto our bat. Bitter Triumph, we'll keep a Bitter Triumph. We'll play that on blue. I'll leave it untapped. Virtue of Loyalty to make it 2/2? Sure. We draw a card. Mia. Alright, let's kill Mia. Attack like so. Explore onto our bat. Spyglass Siren. Let's bin that. Slashy. Restoration magic is really good. Okay. Activate our Anchorage. Attack like so. put a counter on, I don't know, Siren for a change. Will shock. Split up. Okay. Gonna name tapped creatures. Sure. Let's protect our bat. Get lost. Let's spell pierce that. Well, we're not attacking with our Evav, so we might as well block. Super Shredder, which we can't even play. Attack for 5. Explore on our anchorage. Deep Cavern Bat. We don't need creatures. We can't cast creatures. They gain too much life off them. Restless Fortress. So that gets them to 4, which is still dead. Yeah, he'll just pay 3 life and kill that slasher. GG's. Okay. We played around the double authority. So they're like a authority split up combo slashers. Okay, we want poison in the waters, death in the family for sure. Seam Rip, Intimidation Tactics, Spell Pierce, Negate, something like this. Cut 7 non-sideboard cards. 1, 2. I think I actually do want Exercise, at least 1. 1, 2, 3. Again, we're just shaving like our non-sideboard stuff. Still 3 more cuts. Strategic Betrayal isn't great. Maybe we cut 1 Super Shredder as well. Just try to play control. Yeah, go down to 2 deduce. Let's try this. It's a 1-lander. It's a really good 1-lander where we have Seam Rip, Duress, and if we draw land number 2, we get access to our bats. We're going to keep this 1-lander. Very risky. We just need to land off the top deck. We're on the draw. Okay, that's not a land. Duress, Virtue, Virtue, get lost. We'll take this Virtue. Dark Confidant. Okay. Kill the Dark Confidant. Play this on blue untaps. Alright, let's play a bat. Okay, they're gonna get lost the bat. They don't get lost the bat. Because they have a Virtue Persistence also. Okay, take Virtue. The Virtue of Loyalty. Enduring Innocence. Okay. So now we can bat or get lost. They have a split up. We'll attack. If only we had a mana up. Yep, they can split up on untapped creatures or tapped creatures, their choice. They can go for authority instead. Okay. Let's attack like so. Gain 2. We would like to get rid of this at some point. I guess we just stop the hemorrhaging a little bit. Split up. Well, we'll spell pierce that. We need an answer to that Enduring Innocence. Okay, get lost, I suppose, is what we've got. Attack. Yeah, we're gonna kill it. More restoration magic. I think we'll play Super Shredder here. We're going shields down, so this is a little scary. They gain a life. If we had 3 lands, this would be so much less worrisome. But we don't. We kept a 1-lander. Pretty precarious here. Okay, they draw land, which is good for us. Virtue of Loyalty. They don't have any creatures to boost up currently, so that's good. Alright, let's play the Spyglass Siren. Let's attack. We'll hold up Restoration Magic. Fable Passage, crack. Throws our Shredder. Activate Restless Fortress, sure. Crack a clue. Throws our Shredder. Authority on top. You should really bin that opponent. Yes, they do. Crack another clue, grow our Shredder. Requisition Raid. They can hit us for 5. Duress is a pretty awful draw. Let's explore on one of our bats. Poison the waters. Let's certainly bin that. Get in there. Enduring Innocence. Another Enduring Innocence. Another Super Shredder. Attack. Well, they're gonna gain 6 life. Alright. I mean, we've got to do this. Yep. Gain 6 life. We do get to put some counters on our dude. It's now 7-7. Mia. Let's draw 3 cards. Get lost on that bat. Get their Virtue of Persistence, which can kill the other bat. But now they don't have enough mana to get lost the Shredder. Are they dead? I think they're dead. Explore. We still don't draw land number 3, by the way. The rest can go to the bottom. But this looks like a lethal attack to me. The Shredder has Menace. Okay, yeah, I think opponent sequenced that all wrong. Well, we win game number 2 on 2 lands, which is pretty crazy. But then again, the Super Shredder is a pretty crazy card. Okay, that was a 2-3 with Super Shredder Aggro. And I think it's a cool deck. This card is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. How fast it can grow, like how many different ways it can grow. It's like anything that happens. There's so many things that happen in a typical game of Magic the Gathering that grow this creature. So yeah, I like this shell of it. You probably could find a better shell, a more traditional 2-color shell. Maybe like just an Orzhov aggro deck, kind of like the Irksome aggro deck I played, or I don't know. You could do it in Rakdos and use treasure tokens as your token of choice. Like, you don't even necessarily need to have that many token synergies or sack synergies, because just through the natural course of removing creatures and whatnot, this will grow. So the best shell for this might just be a Rakdos shell, combined with just aggressive red creatures, maybe some like charming scoundrels or something. I don't know. You might not even need that. You can just use colorless artifacts like candy trails to sack if you really want to have additional sack fodder. But I decided to go this way because it was fun. You know, I like Novice and Spectre. It's fun to play with these little weenies and their tokens and stuff. And I like Deduce. I almost put Alquist Proft in this deck, but someday I'm going to play a deck that has Alquist Proft. And the synergy with Voice of Victory also is really good. So maybe Orzhov aggro, just cut the blue. Focus on just more disruption and removal spells. Just keep your Shredders and Voice of Victories alive, and you should win. Yeah, I think it's a good, cool deck. It could be built better. It could be played better. But I think we demonstrated that Super Shredder is a cool card. It's a very strong card. I don't know how cool it is. It's okay. it's TMNT, so I don't like it. But it's a good card. And I'm sure that people are going to be finding better ways to abuse it than I have tonight. But, yeah, 2-3, we'll take it. And, you know, it could have been better. We could have played better, but it is what it is. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching me play some Super Shredder aggro in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Standard. If you did and you like off-meta MTG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I stream MTG on my Twitch channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. There's a link to the Twitch in the description if you want to come check out the action in real time. So I hope you all have a good rest of your week, and I'll catch you later.